All right, squad, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use tooling with RubyLLM so we can quickly add tools, basically, or functions to the LLM so that we can query our database or query an API, and I'll quickly show you how it all works. All right, quick example. So we're going to jump in, we're going to set up a new chat. We're then going to add some tools using our listing recommendation tool. Then we're going to just go here and we're just going to ask it a question. Please suggest some places. We're going to run that. And then we're going to get back, once it's gone to space and back, we're going to go puts.content and we're going to see our message. And guess what? It's returning data from our database. So very cool. Let's jump in. All right, squad, let's do this. So last time we had our little luxury stays app where we just added some LLM chats. But what we've got here, so we can go chat equals RubyLLM.chat, right? That sets up the chat using the default model. I don't know if you can call chat. Yeah, you can. Chat.model. It tells you what we're using. So we're using GPT-4o mini. And then today we want to have a look at how do we add some tools in there, because the API chats sometimes don't work. Obviously, models are getting better and better in the future. I mean, this example is pretty lame, but we're going to do it anyway. So what we want to do is we want to say, hey, what's the weather in Kiama tomorrow? Now, what we're going to find is, hey, it's real time, so I can't actually help you. Now, a lot of the models in like playgrounds on OpenAI and etc. can do web searches and stuff, and there are some models that can do that. This is just an example to show you how to add tooling. Now, obviously this, you can add any API here. So I couldn't find, before doing this, I tried to get a restaurant API. That would have been really good. Like Google Places probably would have been a good one. Just for simplicity's sake and the sake of keeping this concise, we're going to use a weather. Now, we need to find a weather API, but to get started, let's have a look at the docs. And one other thing before we do start is just make sure you are running the latest version. And as of this video, I think it's 1.10. So let's just have a look here. If we jump into the gem file and then just go to Ruby, let's have a look. We are running 1.1.0. Yep. So just make sure you're running that just so that we're all using the same language. All right. So to do tooling, we're going to go into the guides. We've got tools, and tools are functions or plugins, right? So what it does is it lets our LLM, we provide it with the tools that we have available. It can then look at the tools, and depending on the query that the user's made, it can choose to reach for those tools and call them and get the data out that it needs. It then comes back with its own response with that data mixed into it. So it's very, very cool. So we're going to do this weather tool. So they've already implemented it here for us, which is very simple, but I'm just going to show you how to do it inside of our app. What we do, and what I did here, because there is no convention, and we are in Rails, so we want convention over configuration. But what I ended up doing is creating a new folder tool. And then what you do is you name it like what the thing does. So like weather tool, right? So like for me, that's like a pretty standard Rails convention. Now we have a weather tool in the tools direct. Now, whether that changes in the future, we shall see. But basically, we are going to create a new class here, and ours will be called weather tool. And it's going to be a subclass of RubyLLM. Okay. Now, the first thing that you need to do here is the description. So what the description is, it basically tells the LLM what this tool does. So depending on how you build your tool, you need to do a good description so that when the LLM's basically thinking, it can figure out and go, okay, the user's asked for this. This tool says it can do it. I can reach for that tool. Now, this gets really cool when you're using it inside of your own apps, because you can actually say, you can like hit the DB to pull out certain information when you're creating a chatbot. So very powerful, very cool. So basically this one just says the description, it gets the current weather for a location. Very straightforward. All right, next step, we're going to give it parameters. So params can be whatever you want, right? And you're going to say, this is basically what we're going to reference them as inside of our code base. And then this is telling the LLM again what to get. So there's like, we need the latitude, we need the longitude, and then it's giving the example of what that needs to look like. Now, in practice, this is probably not something you would actually use. I don't, certainly. But anyway, it's good for the example. All right, next, in RubyLLM, we need to have an execute, right? And then these params are lining up with what we've defined here. Okay, so it'll pass it into here, and that's happy day. Now, this next part here is basically just making or getting or creating the URL to the API. Now, this can be an API, this can be a database request, this could be anything. So let's first start with just trying to create the API. And the way that I imagined, so this is interesting. So it's looking for the current temperature and the wind speed. All right, so let's just actually hit this and see what we get. So paste that here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Kiama lat long, right? And just figure out what that is. Now it's in the wrong thing. So let's see if it's negative. So that was the longitude there and the latitude, paste that in. See that, hit it. Latitude must be in -90 given 1/5. Cool. So it's in a different format. That's very interesting. Yeah, cool. I've stuffed it around. I've got the wrong way around. Longitude here and then latitude. See, there we go. Okay, cool. So there we go. With the lat long, we've got the time when it was generated, and then we've got the current units, which is in seconds. It's telling us the temperature in Celsius. It's just giving us all the units, and then it's giving us the current time. It's giving us the interval, and then the temperature is 26.5. Feels about a 26.5 today, and then a 9.7 km/h winds. Excellent. All right, so that's going to work for us. Just needed to sanity check before we even go down the rabbit hole. Next, so they're using Faraday here. So I don't have Faraday in here. I think I have the HTTP gem. Let's have a look. Let's just check the gem file and see if we have Faraday. Yep, Faraday is so it's installed as a dependency of RubyLLM, so we can use that. So we've got the response there, and then we're just going to go data response, and then we're going to rescue from an error in case we get any errors. You know, it could be in the JSON response is wrong, or this thing times out here, and the data. So we don't even have to label data, we can turn that. All right, so we've got the weather tool. All right, so that's excellent. We've set that tool up. The next step is let's give this a little call. So you can see down here, we want to actually set this up. So we're going to go now, exit this, restart, just to make sure we've got the latest code, and we're going to start a new chat, and then we're going to say chat.withTools. You can do with tool or with tools, either way, and then we're going to say weather tool, right? So we're going to add that in there. Now it knows about the tool. You can see it down here, right? Pull that up there. All right, now what we can say is, I'm going to ask him what's the current weather in Kiama, to be honest. So this is where we need to now put in our thing. So I need to make sure that I do the right thing. So the latitude is this, and funnily enough, because of the way this coordinates work, it's going to say the weather if we left Berlin, it would think it's still in Berlin. It's not ideal. What you'd want to do here with this tool is actually, given the name of the place, try and find the actual lat long so that the user doesn't have to do that. So let's hit that and let's see what happens. All right, so we just run that. It's doing its thing. Now we can go response.content. Current weather in Kiama is as follows. Temperature 26.5 and wind speed 9.7. There you go. So now instead of getting our sorry, champ, can't do that. We're now calling an API. That response is now being fed into the LLM, and the LLM can now go and do its thing. And as far as I understand agents and everything else, which I'm not an expert, I feel like that's very similar. So the way that the MCP servers and stuff are working are exposing tools without having to define them in this way, so that the LLM can go and check and grab the tools that are available. But please, someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I am still learning that. Here, we're actually just hard coding them. So when we're building our systems, we know what tools we want to provide to the chat because we're building it. And this is very powerful. So all right, so that's the weather tool. Very simple implementation. It's very straightforward. How about we give a little shot and see if we can actually use some of the database, our own database, to provide context through a tool. All right, so just off the top of my head, I'm thinking, let's do a listing recommendation. Oh man, I'm gonna struggle here. Commendation tool B. Same concept, right? We're going to just grab all of this, and then we're going to go listing recommendation tool, and it says provides suggestions for places, day, in a specific location. I was trying to think what kind of parameters we actually need in here, right? So I'm gonna clean up this bit because it's confusing me. So do we need any params thing? I'm just having a think. All right, so what we'll try. Now look, I don't even know if this is gonna work, but we can try. So what we're gonna say here is we're gonna say location, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say location here, and then we're gonna say param location, and this will be a name, town, e.g. Kiama, right? So yeah, let's see that. And then what I want to see, yeah, e.g. is in brackets. I just want to kind of follow that convention and just make sure that all works. All right, so we're going to execute there. Now what we want to do is we want to actually grab the places or the listings, and then from the database provide a structured output. All right, so let's go here. We're going to go listing.all and just see them. But what we want to do is we want to go listing.all joins will be the listing type, and we also want to join on the place ID or on the place, right? And then we're going to say where listing type is going to be a key. So this is where we're diving into a bit. This is like our app logic now, and we're going to look for, so if we go into listing types, we're looking for accommodation. So we want to look for accommodation. There we go. Now what we also want to do is go where we also need to join the, so it's place. We just need to make sure that we can go through the region. So we're going to have listings, and then we want to actually grab the region where that is, which I think it goes through. So places, geo region. So here's the place. We can actually just use the place, right? So what we want to do is we want to basically say where we've got this search field, which is really handy, right? So in another video, we added the ability to do a nice search here where we could do search places, right? This one. So what we can do here is we can go search listings, but we actually need to search the list. Yeah, I wonder if we need to actually get the places first and then get the listings based on that. So I think we might have to do that actually, just if we go here, because then what we can tell the LLM, so I can get rid of that. So what we basically want to do is place.all.search places with a string. So if it gives us like a weird string, you can see that kind of works, right? Because that's searching the title and the description. So let's go and do that. So first we're going to get the places, and then this will be the location there. And then what we're going to say is the listings is equal to, now let's just make sure this all works. So I'm going to define, so that's there. I'm just going to say places that, and then we're going to say listing dot, where's our join dot where, and then we're going to say places, and then we're going to just put in the place there, like that. Yep. Okay. That's just because I was being in Tongas. So we want to go places, and then we're going to go ID is in basically places like that. Yeah. There we go. So that's now filtered it down. You can see I'm only getting two places, and I don't know what just happened there. All right. So that's what we're going to do. So chuck that. Now, obviously, please don't judge me on this code because I'm just kind of running it through quickly to try and get some sort of LLM thing here for us. Now, chuck that there. Grab that there. So what we're doing here is we're getting all the places, but we're using the string that the LLM passes in. So we're going to try and search that. Then we're going to grab that. And then what we're going to do here is I think 2 JSONs probably going to be the best way. And then what do we want? We really want to have, how can we do this in a nice way? A format. So you can return this in a format. I think JSON would be fine. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so what we did last time was we just passed the JSON there. So what we could really do is just create a object, and we just need to grab the right fields out. All right. So to spit out the JSON we need, you could use a serializer or everything, but we're just going simple for now. I'm just going to go to JSON here, and we are going to send only the title and the description, right? And that's what we're returning from our tool now. So let's have a look. I'm wondering if you can even call these tools directly. I haven't ever tried this, so if this doesn't work, let's just give it a go. Dot. I wonder if we have to initialize or not. So does feel like it. Let's go new dot and then go Kayama. Okay, maybe we have to, let's just restart because it might not have that there. Wrong number, given one, expect none. There we go. Okay, so you can call, so this is how you can debug tools. I haven't seen that before, but you can just literally go dot new dot execute and then pass in. And this is basically what the LLMs are doing, right? Or the way that RubyLLM is working, and it's passing that in. And then this is what's going to be returned to the LLM, and they can understand JSON, right? And they're going to use that to pass their response. Now, let's see if this all works. All right, so we're going to go chat equals RubyLLM dot chat dot there, and then we're going to go chat dot with tool, and we're going to add in the listing recommendation tool, and then we're going to say chat, we're going to say dot ask, please suggest some places to stay in Kiama. Let's see what happens, eh? Here we go. Here's some places to stay in Kiama. Grey Lee. Kiama's unique combination of wedding venue. Grey's 200 years of experiencely. No, did it copy that exactly? Yeah, it looks like it's copied that almost exactly. Cool. But let's just go equals this, and we go r dot content, puts it so it formats it nicely. There we go. Look at that. So it's gone and done a search in our DB, and we probably, I mean, we could, if we had a different one running, we could have seen, here you go. Actually, you can see it in the console. So you can see here the actual query that we've run when we called. So this is how you can really make your apps cool. So you can create tools that are for your app that exposes a whole bunch of stuff to the tool itself. So there are ways of just like adding system prompts, and you can just dump a whole bunch of text. But if you want it to be a little bit smarter, like where it's doing a search, you don't want to literally go through every single record in the DB and create a context, because that's just a waste of, even just bandwidth. I know the LLMs can have million tokens, but you have to still send that across the wire. We don't want to do that. So we can just get the LLM to ask our system, hey, what do you have for me? All right. So let's see. So that's Kayama. Let's see what happens if we do, I'm just going to quickly set this to, and then we'll change it to a different place and see, let's see if we can do Byron Bay, right? So if we go here, we go Byron Bay. Let's see what we get. Slow, that's the one thing. Okay, and then we go doc, puts r.content. There we go. Look what it says. So now our LLM's done a little search in our DB and says Bunker Byron, and it's returned the description there. So very cool. That's how you use tools with RubyLLM. If you guys have any questions, drop them below. If you have any suggestions on how I could make it better, drop it down below. But otherwise, catch you on the next one.